And so our reading for today is taken from the 365 Science of Mind readings by Ernest Holmes. There is one spirit incarnated in everyone, an immortal presence forever expanding everything, causing everything to grow. What a difference it would make in our human relations if we tried to sense the meaning of the divine incarnation in all people and adjust our viewpoint to the truth that all are bound together in the unity of God. While it is true, as the scripture says, that now we see through a glass darkly, there still is hidden within each one the cause of all life, all aspiration, and all faith. We're used to thinking of ourselves as separate from one another, that we suspect the very feeling and emotion that causes us to embrace everything in love. The one who loves the most will live the most. We meet each other only in fragments, only partially, only in a miserly way when we refuse to open the whole avenue of our consciousness to the realization that there is but one living spirit. If our human relations are to mean the most to us, we must sense that there is hidden within, around, and through each of us a divine presence, manifesting itself in infinite variations. The same impulse, the same love and life, but never quite alike in any two persons. Today, I'm going to meet each experience as I feel it really is. I will endeavor to see the divine presence in everything. I am demanding of myself that I see and sense and feel the one life that flows through all things. I affirm this presence and accept this beneficent action because it already is it. As I go forth today and embark on the wonderful experience of living, I am on a journey of self-discovery and also of the discovery of the self hidden in everyone and the power in the back of everything. So may Spirit bless this word, and I call forth Dr. Edward.
Thank you, Shirley. That was perfect reading, as usual. So today's topic, I call it, Things Are Not What They Seem. And I want to start by talking about the difference between reality and actuality. Somebody, I'm getting that, but we'll live with it. Okay, so in this definition, reality is what we think is happening and what we respond to, and actuality is what is happening, not to be confused by what we see through our filters. Okay, so here's an example. There's a fellow who goes out his back door. It was kind of at dusk, and he looked across his yard, and he saw what appeared to him to be a large dog that was coming his way. And he was frightened. He had all those feelings that one would associate with maybe having a large dog attacking you from your backyard. When he got through the panic, he looked a little closer and realized that it was just a kid's tractor toy out there in the backyard. So that's the difference between the reality that he was experiencing, because it was real to him, and actually what was going on. So I was listening to a talk show the other day, and one of the fellows asked the other person, he says, well, are you a fisherman? And the other fellow paused and continued to pause. And the first guy says, it can't be that hard of a question. Are you a fisherman? And he says, well, it actually is a bit of a question, because I do enjoy fishing, but I'm not a fanatic like most people think that fishermen are. So if you ask me, am I a fisherman? I'm not one of those fishermen. I'm just a lazy fisherman, so to speak. Anyway, I don't live and breathe fishing. And it's like, what I like to say is I enjoy catching. The fishing part is kind of boring. So let's say, just take the same reality versus actuality to relationships. Maybe your significant other, your partner, brother or sister, perhaps. Say you have a morning interaction with them, and they will say they respond with less than enthusiasm about what you're saying. So our reality, our reaction might be, oh, they're mad at me. What did I do to upset them? And if you're one of those folks who really gets into it, you're going to spend the rest of the day trying to figure out what you've done wrong that caused them to be upset with you. In actuality, it was BC, before coffee, and they weren't awake yet. It had nothing to do with you, but yet you lived an entire 8-hour, 12-hour day in the reality that they were mad at you. I'm just saying, I've never had that experience myself. And then maybe you've heard about the fellow who was laying by the pool trying to catch some rays and enjoy himself. Somebody's splashing him. Here's kids playing and they're splashing, gets on his feet and he's like, I'm trying to rest here. Get another splash. He's just like, he sits up and he's ready to just yell at those kids, whoever's doing it. He looks down there, there's a kid in the pool drowning. Now, yeah, we jumped to a conclusion that was different than what was actually happening. So if we go back to Greek times, there's Plato has something that was called the allegory of the cave. And in this allegory of the cave, he describes prisoners that are chained in a cave and they're only able to see shadows on a wall, which they mistake for reality. One prisoner escapes and discovers the real world outside of this cave. And he comes back and he's excited. He wants to share this revelation with all this used to be co-prisoners, right? But they reject him because that's the unknown out there. They're comfortable here in this shadow world. It's familiar. And along this same theme in the Hinduism and Buddhism, it's often stated that the world is Maya, this world of illusion or unreality. And it doesn't mean that things don't necessarily exist, but that our perception of them is shaped by our minds and our desires. If we go to modern philosophers, Immanuel Kant and Descartes, they argue that our understanding of reality is shaped by our cognitive faculties, and that we never know the things in themselves independent of our perceptions. And in more modern psychology, our brains interpret sensory signals and create a representation of the world. This process is influenced by our experiences and can lead to perceptual illusions where our experiences deviate from objective reality. So this objective reality is what I call actuality. So this all suggests that our perceptions and our beliefs and our understanding of the world may not truly be this objective reality, but instead it's this construction that we make based on our experiences and our biases and any external influences we may be experiencing. All right, so why do we care and what do we want to do about it? Now, some of you may remember, gosh, it was probably 18 or so years ago at Wellspring, we had a study group of the book Michael Rice. And his book was, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? And in that, he talked about this reality versus actuality. And he says we make and live in our reality based on our past experiences, our training we have, our family and group we may be participating in, and our race consciousness. And he says when we encounter a new experience, we go over to our filing cabinet, we pull it out under unknown, and we pull out the file, and that's how we learn to react until it becomes known. And then oh, well, that was something else, and we'll file it over there. So next time that happens to us, we go back to our file cabinet, we pull it out, and this is done instantaneously, of course, but still. So we construct this file cabinet full of reactions, and that's how we interact with the world. So there's another book that I'm a favorite of, is by Byron Katie. It's called Loving What Is. And somewhat the story there is that we spend a lot of our time arguing with what we'd rather have than accepting or dealing with what's actually there and then moving on. So we fight with this reality that we've already made, that we made up the reality instead of dealing with the actuality. And she has in her book, of course, she has the exercises and she has what she calls the work that's for dealing with this. And I might add that Ernest Holmes has gotten on this same bandwagon. You know, he has this change your thinking, change your life. And so if you want to change your life or our reality, because that's what we're experiencing, then perhaps we need to change our thinking or change our interpretation of actuality. All right, so all this sounds good, and we nod our heads and say, yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. How can we apply this in our daily life? I mean, you know, the world's a mess. We got wars going on everywhere. We got pestilence, we've got floods, we've got fires, we've got hate, we've got divisiveness. How do I kind of bring these two concepts together? So how we view all those things I just mentioned is the reality that we're living in. So if we're going to view them differently, we have to reframe our reality, and we do that by changing our perspective or reframing our thinking or our perception of things. So let me list some basics here. In our Science of Mind magazine monthly, we have the little section that says that we call the We Believes, right? So we believe in the eternal goodness, the ever-loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. And that's not too far from what you were reading about. And we've heard this a lot. That probably came out of the Bible somewhere. God is good all the time. Now, we've talked about that before as well. And then we have the Course in Miracles that says everything is either love or a call for love. Now, it helps if we have a bit of a curious and inquiring, open attitude about things. So if we're too closed off to new thoughts, then we have a difficult time reframing what's going on. It's kind of like Plato's cave. I don't know. I know where I'm at. Don't bother me. I don't want to change. So there was something that came up this morning in Early Birds, and what had occurred to me is that words are, shall we say, plastic in one sense, but they're not really. I mean, they're always spelled the same, no matter what they mean to us, right? I mean, so in that sense, they're not plastic, but what they mean to us is plastic. And so we can change what they mean to us. We were watching an interview by Matt Kahn last Thursday night. He was being interviewed by Lisa Gar on the Gaia channel. And she asked him some questions and said, how do you reframe certain phrases? And so I'm going to borrow from that. He actually has a book that's called, let's see, what was that book? Yeah, okay. He says, the name of his book is Everything is Here to Help You. All right, so just kind of that. So mistake was the first word that came up. And so we've talked about this before. A mistake is just some manner in which maybe we missed the mark. Is there really such a thing as a mistake? And at one level, there isn't. There is no such thing as a mistake. Because there's a reason why everything happens as well. So on the human level, the mistake is an opportunity for us to act out in a way that doesn't match our highest wisdom or potential. So that later on we can look back on it and receive the wisdom of the lesson that we weren't ready to receive at the time. It's a big mouthful. But so we were front loading a future experience in a way. And another thing you could say is that mistakes are helping us to align ourselves with our highest values. And I know when I make a mistake, I know it. Whatever, it's like, oh. But that's, the little angel on your shoulder saying, you'll know better next time. She asked him about disappointment. And he speaks, I tried to write how he spoke it. He gets kind of contorted in the way he says things, but not that it isn't wisdom. Just say it. He says, disappointment is when we are given back our power that we have given to someone in the expectation that they would play a certain role that they aren't meant to play. If we're disappointed in how somebody acts, it's like, well, kind of like, well, that's not my line. I'm not supposed to be that for you. And so he says, this is how we reclaim our power. It's just the universe redirecting us in the direction we're meant to be. For example, we expect someone else to make us happy in a relationship. Really? Sometimes that happens. When the real and only person that can make us happy is ourselves. Right? Perfectionism. Trying to live up to an image of ourselves, not knowing that the imperfections you judge about yourself is part of a greater perfection unfolding. So an imperfection is just a step on the way. And this is like trying to change, I love the way he puts us, trying to change who we judge ourselves to be at the moment, rather than loving what is, because it really is a judgment of ourselves. I kind of like this next one. It was overwhelmed. He says, this is when we have not given ourselves enough space to rest and renew. And I liken that to when we're sick. You know, there are some books that tell you, oh, if you got this wrong with you, then this is, you know, you have this malady, this is what you did wrong or what have you, or this is the part of your body that it relates to. Well, you know, sometimes being sick is just taking time to rest and recoup. You know, and if you've just been go, 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 go all the time, oh, you got yourself worn out. Yeah, you did, but you need to take a break. All right, so now we get into a big one. It's called hate. He says, I'm paraphrasing a lot here now, a defense mechanism to keep others from connecting with us because we are afraid that if we are open and vulnerable, we might be rejected. So we project our own garbage onto others, thereby keeping them rejected to avoid being rejected ourselves or seen as inadequate by another person. So we, or our ego self, use it to maintain our perception of separateness. Because by insisting on our separateness, we don't have to surrender to love and to oneness. And if our minds are busy hating, then we don't have to look into our own souls. That's kind of like, you know, we're going to meditate, but we're constantly fighting with the other, be that other be a political belief or whatever. So I go, oh, you son of a gun, I hate you. Oh. That didn't work too well, right? And you know, this 24-hour news cycle that we have, this manages to keep us, if we allow it, to keep us so distracted by our differences that we can avoid paying attention to our own growth. I mean, there are folks, and well, it seems like there are a lot of folks who have to have music on all the time, or you go to their house, their TV is on all the time. It's like, is anybody watching that? Can we turn it off? It's like, I kind of like to have a conversation. Anyway, the other thing, hate frequently comes with belonging to a group, or at least identifying with one. Again, be it a political party or whatever. It doesn't matter. You name your favorite group. So from that perspective, hate can be thought of as a war against loneliness. Because I belong to a group. I don't have to worry. I mean, the people like me, I'm similar to people. So you might say that hate or fighting loneliness is really a call for love. Like in A Course in Miracles, it says everything is either love or a call for love. So from that perspective, if we view folks who we perceive as hating, we can have compassion for them because they are acting out their calling for love. And so we can love their heart even though we can't support their actions. And so we connect at a deeper level or a higher level, depending on how your paradigm. We don't like what they're doing necessarily, but we can love the spirit within them, who is on its own path. It looks a little weird to us at the moment, right? Otherwise, we'd be in there with them, but they're still on their own path. And they're going to get there. Lastly, jealousy. We are feeling resentful of other people having what we think we deserve. Jealousy, envy, okay. In reality, it is the universe giving us a sneak preview of what is coming our way. What is headed our way is showing up in the lives of people around us. And the only reason those people are around us is why? We've attracted them, or they've attracted us. So, sneak preview. So, it's important and it's very powerful to be grateful and happy for other people's success. You're telling the universe, I like that they are succeeding, and I'm ready to be next. I'm ready to receive. Like I said, that was from Matt Kahn's book. I didn't read the book, but I watched the video. Everything is here to help you. Which even, that's kind of like the Byron Katie book, or the other one, the Byron Katie, Loving What Is. You know, the title tells you what's going to be in the book. I mean, it's a perfect title. So I hope that you take to heart some of what I've shared this week. Perhaps even do a little exercise in which you list a few things that irritate you, and then look for the good in them in order to reframe them. Is there a different way we can look at what's happening to us or around us that makes more sense from a God perspective? And no matter if you do this or don't do this, it's all good. Failure is not possible. You're gonna make it. You're on the perfect path right here, right now. So it is. So let's just have a little prayer. So we know that God is all there is. And that way, I am a piece and a part of God, and God is a piece and a part of me. Every one of us here in this room, and everyone on this planet, and everyone in the universe is a piece and a part of that oneness. And as godlings, stardust, whatever we want to describe ourselves as, we have all the attributes of God at our disposal. So we touch deeply into that magnificent being, spiritual being that we are. We know that we bring into our lives all the wonderful things, exactly what we need, every place and every time, no matter where we are. And if we move forward in that comfort of knowing that we are this divine being fully supported, there is no reason to fight or argue or defend our ego. We can love our ego, but we know we are much greater than our ego. We go much deeper than that ego. Nothing can touch that depth. Nothing can touch who we truly are. So we know that there are friends and family members who are experiencing what may appear to them as less than wonderful. We know that deep in their being, their magnificence is bursting forth through whatever they are experiencing. Know that they are blessed. We give great thanks. We understand these God beings that we truly are. We release this prayer to the universe, knowing that it will be acted upon. And so it is. So now we have some more special music.
Thank you so much. That was lovely. It's so funny. We're across the country in New York, and obviously we didn't talk to anybody about anything before we came, but the songs we chose today are both about choosing the good, and both of them are about insisting on finding the thing that is good and that is joyful. And we didn't plan that at all, it just ended up that way. This is a song from the musical Annie, It's Not Tomorrow. It's another one, it's a little more fun. Hey, Hoberman, hey, Dapper Dan, you both got your style, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Your clothes may be a Beau Brummely, they stand out a mile, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Sisters. What they're wearing from Main Street till Savile Row. It's what you wear from ear to ear, and not from head to toe that matters. So senator, so janitor, so long for a while. Remember, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Who cares what you're wearing from Main Street till Savile Row? It's what you wear from ear to ear, and not from head to toe that matters. So senators, janitor, so for a while, you'll never be dressed. You may look your best, you're never fully dressed without a smile. You're never fully dressed without a smile.
You two are amazing. And welcome home. Would you think about moving back home? One day, one day. Wonderful. Okay, so right now it's time for us to share out of our abundance. And I think Sharon's going to come from the back with the little basket for you to deposit some of your gift. As we acknowledge and receive our virtual and person gifts, we give great thanks for the offering already given and those that we will be receiving, because we know that giving and receiving are both part of one flow. We affirm that we are also a part of that flow. We bless these gifts now and know they are multiplied throughout our community. And so it is. Thank you, Sharon. We want to take this time to thank those that have made this little gathering possible. We thank you, Dr. Edward, for your message. We thank you, Taylor and Mark, for your music. And we thank Edwin for running the camera today. We're just blessed. So we give thanks. And we thank all of you in Zoom land today for joining us. And for you that are going to be joining us through recording. It's wonderful to be connected. Okay, so if you'll stand, we will say our benediction together and sing our song of peace. Thank you. In the midst of us is mighty joy, peace, and eternal life, our true nature, and flow through us into the world, and so it is.